Right now, somewhere in the open ocean, a gray whale is swimming in an almost perfectly straight line. No coastline in sight, no landmarks, no roads. It's heading toward the exact same feeding ground it left months ago, over 10,000 miles away. No GPS, no map, and yet it will likely arrive within a few miles of where it's supposed to be. Humans get lost walking out of a parking garage. So how does an animal cross an entire ocean in open water and almost never miss its destination? For a long time, biologists assumed whales simply followed the coastline, using it like a giant handrail across the ocean. That explanation works fine for animals that hug the shore. But here's where things get strange. Many whale species migrate straight across the open Pacific and Atlantic, far from land, through water that looks identical in every direction for weeks at a time. Researchers tracking humpback whales found that some individuals held a single, nearly straight course for over 200 kilometers, occasionally holding accuracy better than 1 degree off target. That's a level of precision most human sailors would struggle to match without instruments. So if it's not the coastline, what is it? Scientists started looking at the whale's other senses. Sound was the obvious place to start. Many whales, especially toothed species like sperm whales, use echolocation, sending out clicks and listening for the echo to build a picture of what's around them. It's incredibly precise at close range. The problem is, echolocation only works over relatively short distances. It can tell a whale exactly where a squid is 30 meters away. It cannot tell a whale where Mexico is from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. That left researchers with a much stranger possibility. What if whales can sense Earth's magnetic field? It sounds almost like science fiction, but the evidence kept building. Scientists have found magnetite, a naturally magnetic mineral inside tissue in whale brains, similar to structures found in birds and sea turtles that are known to use magnetic navigation. The theory is that Earth's magnetic field isn't uniform. It has subtle variations in strength and angle depending on where you are on the planet, almost like an invisible grid laid over the entire ocean. If a whale can sense those variations, it could use them the way we'd use a compass and a map combined into one sense. Except there's one problem. When scientists checked, it wasn't quite that simple. Even when whales left from locations with nearly identical magnetic readings, some of them still took completely different routes to get to the same destination. That single fact ruled out the idea that whales are just following a rigid magnetic map like a printed line on a page. Whatever is happening in their brains, it isn't as clean as flipping open Google Maps. Then researchers found something else, and it was almost unsettling. During periods of intense solar storms, when the sun bombards Earth with charged particles that scramble the planet's magnetic field, healthy whales are roughly 4 times more likely to strand themselves on beaches for no obvious reason. If magnetism had nothing to do with whale navigation, that pattern shouldn't exist at all. It's not proof by itself, but it's a strong clue that something invisible really is guiding these animals, and that when it gets disrupted, whales can lose their way just like we would lose a signal. So the real answer, based on current research, is that whales likely aren't relying on just one system. They're combining several imperfect senses into one incredibly accurate one. Magnetic cues to hold a general heading, sound to map their immediate surroundings and communicate across huge distances, possibly even the position of the sun and stars near the surface. Layer enough imperfect senses together, and you get something that looks a lot like perfect navigation from the outside. Researchers studying cetacean migration, including scientists analyzing decades of tracking tag data, are still trying to untangle exactly how much of this behavior is instinct whales are simply born with, and how much is learned, passed down from mother to calf on the same migration route year after year. Some evidence suggests calves that lose their mothers early struggle to find their way on future migrations, which would mean navigation isn't purely magnetic hardwiring, it's something closer to inherited memory. So here's the full picture. Whales aren't lucky, and they're not using some single perfect built-in GPS. They're stacking multiple senses, magnetism, sound, memory, and possibly celestial cues into one system refined over millions of years of trial and error across an ocean with almost no landmarks at all. The ocean isn't empty, it's simply waiting for us to discover what's still hiding below. If you enjoy exploring the unknown, there's plenty more waiting beneath the surface.